Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett, and in today's video, we are talking about some dated interior design that is aging your home. We can update it, getting rid of or replacing a few of these little things. Now, the first thing we have to talk about that immediately says to me, a little bit dated, a little tired, we could update it easily, is a wine rack piece of furniture. You know who you are, you know what I'm talking about, and you know the reasons why. I don't love these pieces of furniture because honestly, it's very indicative of like the early 2000s. That's what it's giving me. It's giving me like Tuscan design and like we have to have the wine rack piece of furniture for all of our wine. Like, I get it, girl, you like to drink. Okay, it's clear, but let's elevate that in some way. I don't love these pieces of furniture because they get dust all over them and they're impossible to clean. You know, you're like trying to get your hand through the little hole the wine goes into to wipe the bottom. Like it's a dust collector, and that's not the fantasy I need fulfilled by that piece. Also, it's very hard to find wine rack pieces of furniture that like fit the scale of a space appropriately because the dimensions of the bottle of wine limit the size and shape of that piece. Like it's a whole thing. And I just don't like it. I don't care for them. I think you're better off going with some sort of closed storage where we don't have to see everything. In addition to that, do not come to me and say like, but I need somewhere to put my wine. If you are having that much wine, like it's not a wine collection, you just have a back stock of it, okay? Like, let's be real. Like that's what it comes down to. So then just drink the wine or just put it somewhere and then, you know, like we're gonna go through it, okay? You and a couple of your friends are coming over, like we're gonna fly through a few bottles that night. So like move on from it. I don't think we need to have a wine rack. I love that for you, but I think there are better ways to store wine or anything, quite frankly, than open storage there. It's the same thing as an open shelf, right? Everything on it's getting dusty. The shelf itself is getting dusty, and it's adding to like visual clutter that we don't necessarily need to see. Now, if you've got something in your home that you think might be dated and you can't decide whether you should get rid of it or keep it or what alternatives there are to that piece, I have got the answers for you. No matter what your design question, you could always book a one-on-one interior design consultation with me using the link in the description box down below or going to intro.co/GarrettLeChic. Actually, we currently have a Memorial Day sale running now through May 31st at 11:59 p.m. You could get $50 off of a 30-minute or longer consultation with me, and all of the sale information will actually be in the description box down below. So be sure you head down there, check it out, click the link or go to intro.co/GarrettLeChic to book your consultation, and I'll see you there. Something else that is aging your home, it's a little dated, there's a caveat there, so we've got to talk about it, are your silk flowers. I know some people love a faux floral, and I'm not necessarily opposed to them. I mean, you can literally see them in the background there. So there are certain things you can do that make that work, but the silk flowers, you know, we just have to look at them and address whether or not they feel relevant and current and modern, or if they are giving a little bit dated, because floral arranging has come a long way. The look and feel of silk florals has come a long way, and some of them are very authentic looking, and quite a lot of them are very not authentic looking. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You cannot go to a box store and buy faux florals and think they're gonna be like groundbreaking, amazing, and they look real, because they just don't. Same thing goes for like a fake tree. I know it's fake. Like 90% of the time I know it's fake. I can clock it from the get-go. I'm looking at the fake plant's looking at me, and we're both like, we don't belong in the same space together, and that's a given. However, your faux florals, sometimes you just gotta like cut that cord and let them go and say like, okay, we're gonna move on, we're gonna elevate it. There are some amazing faux florals you can shop in my Amazon storefront, but they're not the like old style silk flowers, right? A lot of them have moved on to elevated plastics and synthetic materials that really replicate florals. I personally find that the easiest way to bring a faux floral into your home is to look for a plant that already looks fake. There are certain things, like I love tulips. Real tulips, like real life tulips that grow from the ground, look fake. And when something already looks fake, it's easy to fake it and replicate it with synthetic materials. That's what you've got to be thinking about and looking out for when it comes to faux florals if you're bringing them into your home. I don't want to see something that just immediately is like, oh wow, that's like, you know, it's not really giving authentic. It's not real. It's not, you know, natural. And let's make sure if you're gonna do the faux silk florals that they're dusted, because all of that other stuff is fine, but I don't want my house to look dusty, least of all. Something else that is making your house look dated, it's aging it more than is necessary and you could easily fix, is the light fixtures. Ooh, the light fixtures, yeah. It could go downhill quickly with some dated light fixtures. And what would I say is a dated light fixture? Anything builder grade, anything that's got like plastic bits and pieces to it, I don't love. And I think you also need to have light fixtures that match your personal style. I think that's really where it says to me, like, I've thought about this, I changed the light out, it's something beautiful that I really enjoy, even if it is like, you know, like the Tuscan light fixture, for example. I've got a client, a great client, who loves Tuscan design. That's her style, that's what her house is, it's beautiful, she loves it, great, good for her. But it's not for everybody else. I actually just met with another client who said, like, I don't like these light fixtures. It looks like Tuscan and Colonial got into a fight and both of them lost. So I need to change them out to something more modern. Well, that's not her style. Tuscan just doesn't fit that vibe. So we have to change them out and do something relevant there. Old or dated light fixtures will immediately date your house further than it is. I don't care how traditional your house is. I don't care if you have 8-foot ceilings and you have crown molding and the thick baseboards and all of the traditional moldings and detail. If you go with a minimal color on the walls and ceiling and you update the light fixtures to be something modern, it will look modern. It will look modern. It just depends on the other things you're bringing in the space to elevate that style. And light fixtures are one of the ways you stamp your home with your personal style, regardless of what it is. You know, also I had another client that she put together this entire color scheme for her house and it worked beautifully. It was really good. And I was talking through it with her and everything. And I was saying, like, this is good for this. And we could do this to elevate it and all of this stuff. And she's like, well, what do you really think of this? And I said, well, you know, it looks a little beachy. Like, that's just the vibe it was giving. It was like light woods, it was blue and everything. I was like, it's giving beachy, it's giving coastal. And she goes, but I don't like beachy and I don't live near the beach. And I was like, that's the look you've made because of the light fixtures, because of the colors we've chosen, it's giving beachy. And so we pivoted from that and did something that matched her style more authentically, and we were able to do a lot of that through different light fixtures and maybe a slightly different wood tone on the floor. But regardless of that, you can elevate your style, you can define your style, you can update your home, changing out the light fixtures in it. Now, the next thing that is aging and dating your home is something that nobody likes when I talk about, but you need to hear, okay? And that is the recliner. The recliner. The reason I don't love recliners is because, you know, they look bulky. They're just big and oversized and chunky, and I really don't like a tall back on them. I think there's certain recliners you can opt for, like, you know, there are mid-century style ones and there's stressless recliners that are great, but, like, you know, those are a little more streamlined. They have a little bit more of a chair-like feel, as opposed to the recliner we're all thinking about that literally is like a one-seater sofa and is like big, fluffy, oversized. Like, I get where the comfort from that comes in, but there are ways to elevate that design without compromising. It is currently 2025 when I'm filming this video, because this is gonna go on for years to come, honey. But, and if you're from the future, hi, it's 2025. We can elevate the recliner. The back of the recliner needs to fold down. It needs to fold down so that it is a little more streamlined. It feels like it's a little lower. And then when you get into it and you hit the button for the reclining option, like, the headrest comes up. It's not that groundbreaking. It's not, well, it is groundbreaking, but it's very simple. Okay, if the footrest can recline, why can't the headrest? That's the question. Speaking of not compromising, don't compromise in your home. Don't compromise on the design, and don't compromise on the design advice you get. And what do I mean by that? Subscribe, join us, become a part. Arden popped in to say, hit the subscribe button. You've made it this far in the video. Don't be fake. Don't be fake. Hit that subscribe button and join us. We would love to have you as a part of our GarrettLeChic family. We post at least 2 videos every week, so join us. Give this video a like, and be sure you share it with a friend who needs to hear maybe some tough love, but it will elevate their home. You'll see his tail wagging in the background. He's, I don't know, looking for a snack, looking for a treat, and looking for something to tear up, aren't you? So cute. On to the next thing we have to talk about, we have to discuss, and that is Shabby Chic. Shabby Chic is dating your home, and I know that a lot of people love Shabby Chic. And Shabby Chic is good when it's done right, but when it's like Shabby Chic adjacent, Shabby Chic vibes, it's not giving what you think you are giving. It's giving old, dated, decrepit. It's giving falling apart. It's giving faux finish that looks like it's like a faux aged, distressed finish. What is the point? What is the reason? It's too much, and it doesn't have a real sense of thought put into it. Let me tell you what I can't stand when people do in their homes. I'm all about, you know, decorating your home is a journey, it's not a race. So you don't have to get it all done at once. But what some people will do is they will go through time as they're decorating, they'll get this piece now and then, you know, they'll say, oh, you know, in 2 months when I buy another piece, what's the biggest or latest trend? Or, oh, I like that, it's fine, like it's cute, I'll bring it in. And it doesn't have a real rhyme or reason to it. And a lot of times when I see a shabby chic piece of furniture, this is how I feel about it. Not everything always works. And I'm a very big believer, and a lot of my clients come to me because I'm able to elevate their homes without having to replace every single thing. And sometimes there's just that one piece that it's like, you know what, it's time to let it go, it's time to move on. I have a client right now, her style is very modern, we're doing a lot in the space, like she wants it to feel very chic and have like a Parisian sensibility to it. But previously her style was just more traditional. And so we're at this point where it's like, do we keep that? Do we let it go? We're changing a little bit of the layout. We're taking out some walls in the home. So yeah, we kind of have to lose quite a few pieces of furniture, and maybe some of these more like shabby chic, kind of like vintagey French pieces have to be let go of so we can elevate everything else. It's those fake vintage distressed looking pieces, just move on from them. It just looks tired at this point. There's an interesting way to get antiques or vintage pieces that have authentic character and history to them without them looking like they have peeling paint all over the place. Like shabby chic is fine for some people in some places, but you really have to be committed to that style everywhere to make it work. Otherwise, it just looks like a really random old piece of furniture that you just have not moved on from yet, and that's the vibe it's giving. Something else that is aging your home and we can let go of, we can get rid of, we can say goodbye to, are faux finished walls. Faux finished walls, yeah, we gotta let them go. This is kind of like a part of Tuscan design, and all of the time I see people who, especially here in Las Vegas where I live, like Tuscan design was the thing in the early 2000s, and everybody wanted Tuscan. But what people will do is they'll look at Tuscan design and be like, oh, you know, it's so bad, it's so Tuscan, it's so dated, we have to go modern with it. And they think they have to gut and rip everything out and start over, but they try and do it on a budget, and so it ends up looking a little bit cheap. When in reality, it's like you could have just painted the faux finish walls and styled it in a different way, and it would have looked really elevated and expensive and luxurious, because a lot of Tuscan design was actually very, very good quality. It just was very specific in its style. And I have a conversation with clients all of the time about this also, where it's like they'll have a Tuscan kitchen and they're like, I don't like it, I'm tired of it, I don't know what to do, I can't afford to gut the whole thing and rip it all out. And I'm like, just get rid of the faux finishing, the faux detailing, like, you know, the grapevine border wallpaper. And, you know, like I had a Tuscan kitchen that had a backsplash where it looked like a bottle of wine was being poured out and there was like a basket of grapes. The bottle of wine was being poured into a wine glass next to a basket of grapes. And it's like, I don't live on a vineyard, I don't even drink, so I don't need to have that. It's weird to have it in my kitchen. Those are the sorts of things you can get rid of and move on from, but specifically the faux finishing on walls, like the sponge painting, it just looks a little bit style specific. Sometimes the colors of it are very specific. Repaint it with just a simple creamy white paint and instantly the Tuscan design looks elevated. And this goes for pretty much any sort of finish on your wall. I don't think you should be doing really expensive finishes. Like, I hate to say that because there's an entire industry around it where it's like, you know, lime washing. Lime washing is expensive, it's difficult to do, but then if you're going to paint over it, like, you have the texture behind it. The same thing goes for Venetian plaster. Venetian plaster is the most expensive wall finish you can do, and it is gorgeous, it's beautiful, but you cannot easily change the color of that. You can't just go and paint over it and expect that you're going to have the same feel, because Venetian plaster is like, you know, glass particles that are, you know, put onto a wall and it creates a really smooth finish, but there's movement in it and everything. If you don't like the color of it, you then have to go back over it with more of that Venetian plaster to change the color of it. So it's just really expensive. I don't recommend doing those sorts of things in homes because sometimes you just get tired of it and you want to change it out. Let's have a conversation about something else that is dating your home. One of my favorite things in a home, and one of the easiest ways to make it look modern, elevated, luxurious, expensive, are window treatments. But the window treatments you have that are dating your home, they're not the shutters, they're not, you know, your Venetian style blinds, okay, they're the vertical blinds. The vertical blinds are a personal attack on me. And that's how I take it. Okay, that is the only way. If you're putting vertical blinds in right now, that is the only way I can take it. A lot of people like them who have cats because apparently cats like them. Okay, that's fun. I could never. I couldn't have the sound of like clinking plastic, rattling all of the time. Absolutely not. Couldn't do it. Getting rid of the vertical blinds is a good idea to update your home. Now, there is some sort of caveats around this. Like if you live in an HOA, for example, they may have a regulation in terms of the type of window treatments you can have, or the color of them is what I see most often. So you kind of have to stick within that realm, but the vertical blinds are aging your home. They really are. And there's lots of things you can do to kind of trick the eye to make them either disappear or just get rid of them in general. That's what I suggest. Get rid of them in general. You could do a large rolling blind above a sliding glass door. You could do drapes that are hung oversized on that door. And if you have vertical blinds there, like you're renting and you just don't have the option of getting rid of them, hang drapery above them, over them. So when they're stacked, you can have drapes in front of it. You'll barely know it's there. Also, a lot of landlords will be like, hey, you can take it down, just store it and put it back up before you go. That's something you may want to ask permission about to do in your home if you do have that. The next thing we have to talk about that is aging your home that you could change out is one of my favorites because it's an update without a renovation. Okay, we don't have to take all of the things, we don't have to gut all of it, but we can update our kitchens just by changing out the hardware on the cabinetry. Yes, it's as simple as that. You don't realize how dated you could be making your home look by not having updated hardware on your cabinetry. Now, really high-end, really good quality hardware on your cabinetry can be a little bit expensive. Okay, like, let's just be real. Most things are gonna cost you something to do, and that's one of them. But instead of refinishing or repainting your cabinetry without replacing your countertops or redoing your backsplash, all of these really expensive things, just swapping out the hardware on your cabinetry could give you the kitchen update you need. Here in Las Vegas, you don't get hardware standard with most builders. It's not a guarantee for all of them, but most of them, you don't get hardware on your cabinetry. So that's one of the big things. There's like a whole industry around it where it's like, you can hire people just to come out and put hardware on your cabinets, and it makes a really big deal. The hardware is the jewelry of the kitchen. It's that little sparkle, it's that moment, it's a standout feature. So doing something that feels more modern in your kitchen will immediately update it. You can do a mix of different styles of hardware. You can do knobs and pulls, knobs on doors, pulls on drawers. Now, if you're looking at hardware, be sure you're getting something that is a solid metal, not just that finish, because it will not last quite as long. Oh, Arden popped by to say, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, be sure you check out this one right over here, all about some dated design trends that are overdone and overused, might be in your home, and it's time to let them go. Be sure you check it out, and we will see you over there. Oh, and by the way, thanks for watching.